Beastars Season 2 is on such an incredible roll. I thought Beastars Season 1 was amazing and I would say a masterpiece for an incomplete story. I mean, as long as we got more, I would claim it as such. And with Season 2, 4 episodes in, I'm already enjoying this even more. It's nice that we're actually touching upon Tem's murder. That's a prominent and relevant theme and story arc, but especially the Louis content. I think out of everything, that might be my favorite content, and I spent enough time in recent reviews discussing Louis, and we will discuss a lot of him in this review. But I do want to touch upon the emotionally engaging content surrounding Legoshi towards Jack, as well as his newfound mentor, who, at this point up into this story, Nguyen has kind of been just reluctantly helping the boy, but at this point it seems like, he's in for a pretty rude awakening, but if the mentoring goes well, this is a wolf who will be able to bite back properly and be able to stop the murderer. This episode kicks off in such a great fashion. I forget what the art style and the filtering would be titled. I'm going to claim it as like a noir filter because you have the silhouettes and you get some color, but for the most part, it's very black, it's very bleak. It's hard to make out what's happening, but the idea that like throughout this fight, because our boy gets jumped and it is brutality. I mean, I complimented it last week and the week before. I mean, our boy went up against a kangaroo quite well, but a sneak attack from someone even more powerful than that. I mean, you could say it narrows down the search, but there's so many carnivores at that school that it could literally be anyone at this point. And until our boy, finds the taste and can pinpoint who did it, it's kind of, he's shit out of luck is the best way to put it. And to see the escalation and the more and more blood that you notice throughout the episode before the actual color gets revealed, it is pretty graphic. And even though I knew he wasn't going to die, I was worried how badly damaged he could be, because this could have easily been something where, he loses his eyesight or loses an eye, just from one eye, maybe both, right? There's a lot of things that could happen to this character, despite us knowing he's not going out just yet. There was still the fear that something truly bad could happen, and the fact that, it doesn't feel unrealistic based on what we've seen of his strength. Despite him being a very gentle wolf, he is incredibly strong just naturally. So the fact that he could snap back and get this culprit to run away because they actually fear for their life despite getting the jump on him, I'm very curious that if this was a proper one-on-one fight similar to the kangaroo fight, if Legoshi would have easily won, because he easily won against the kangaroo boxer, but the kangaroo boxer wasn't able to get the jump on him first. So I wonder if that's the reason he actually did get that badly damaged, and with proper training, would he be able to go up against him one-on-one, or are we even going to see that fight? But the idea of Jack, I think that's the type of stuff that really highlights how good Beastars is. The content with Jack could have easily been disposable. You could have said it means nothing, but these are two really close friends. And from his point of view, seeing what's happened, him saying that he's leaving school because he's going to get killed, this is someone who's growing stronger and stronger, but in the process is becoming less happy all at the same time. And for him, generally you'd see this type of scene with like the romantic love of like, oh, this is Haru and Legoshi and he's running away, but instead you get this really nice bonding and kind of shattering sequence between two best friends, and for now, they're very much separated. It's a pretty powerful moment, all things considered, and in a lot of authors' hands, I think it could be easily disposable. But even in an episode as eventful and memorable as this, I really think that content stands out and really is something quite special. Though the idea with his mentor, and I mean, I'm really glad he's still just as snappy as ever, saying like, I'm not going to train you, you're causing me too much headaches, everyone's biting down on me. And then to see him just get strapped into a chair and being like, if you really want to be trained by me, you got to prove it. I'm just thinking to myself, this is going to be entertaining. It's probably going to be terrifying and hilarious all at the same time. And it'll be interesting to see what type of character Legoshi will come out as if the training does go well. I mean, I'm not going to lie, at first when I heard Louis get mentioned that, hey, there's a young wolf looking to talk with you, my mind went to Legoshi, to be honest, but the idea of it being her, that's interesting. That's the best way to put it. It's interesting, but it's really exciting to see where they could take that content. And I really do have to commend the series for making Louis into someone who's so fascinating. He was extremely fascinating last season, but the idea of him still being this leader, the sequence where once again they're eating meat, to me it kind of indicated that I wouldn't be surprised if the meat that they were eating was actually that dancer who tried to kill the other dancer who just happened to be a herbivore, and him still swallowing meat but then only eating a single bite, going away, throwing up. But I like how they're not assholes at this point. Like, they do kind of have, like, they poke fun as general friends and colleagues would. but the person whose entire idea to make Louis their boss actually went out of his way to buy him vegetables. While the caution does want to be raised here that this could be something that could be taken advantage of, the fact that he did it outside of the other's presence, I could very well see him saying, like, if you weren't a good leader, I wouldn't do this for you. But the fact that not only is our reputation being better and better, days upon days upon days, I want you to survive because you are the right leader. You put on the face for the others. You stomach meat for them. I don't care if you throw up in the other room. I'll make sure you survive with the food that you want to eat. I think it's very interesting, and while it could blow up in his face, at this point I would put money on this being general compassion, despite Louis clearly lashing out because he doesn't trust anything about this and he's just trying to survive. But the content with the strip club I thought was really interesting because of the provocative nature of like having carnivores. They're not going to lash out at other carnivores, but if you're a herbivore dancing on the stage, you have a cage around you because they can't control themselves, and how this one girl is trying to kind of take the power back, make money, make a name for herself, and be in control of these idiots. And then the cage comes down and it's like, holy shit, that's going horrible. And then in comes Louis. I love how this man just continues to make an entrance, and every character who wants to throw it in his face, just throw it back in their face in such an elegant and vastly mature way. It's so interesting that how many things happen in any given episode of Season 2 of Beastars, and it doesn't feel rushed, it doesn't feel convoluted, it feels perfectly paced. Like, come back to sit and think about what I saw. To me, the Legoshi content felt like an entire episode. The Louis content felt like an entire episode, but it was one episode, normal length, no extra padding, but it didn't feel fast-paced, didn't feel slow-paced, it just felt perfect. How is a show like this able to manage so many characters? And while, sure, it's two perspectives, all things considered right now, it still feels like so much is happening, but it never feels rushed or convoluted. I don't know how the adaptation accuracy is for the manga to the anime. All I can say is, as an anime, the pacing is right, characters aren't being forgotten, and in the case of Thames murder, something that a lot of people thought was just cut and forgotten, myself included, relevant and alive as well. And it's just amazing to see. The production value remains tight, the voice actors are incredible. Legoshi's pain and even stuff like Louis and the strippers and things like that. Great acting across the board, amazing episode. Probably the best episode of Season 2 so far, and I know we're just getting started. This is one of those shows, though, that is difficult to review in a consistent way because there are dedicated fan subs being made, but right now it feels like we're kind of teeter-tottering of, is these going to be weekend reviews or are they going to actually be Friday? Because Friday works the best for me for these reviews, so if something happens and subs aren't released early on Friday, in the case they generally come out between Thursday and Friday morning, I will say there is a good chance they could be coming out on Mondays. I just want to throw that out there just in case if anyone's wondering. I'm hoping that I can still keep doing them on Fridays as long as subtitlers are doing it or PAF subs is doing it. But I just want to say that I was approaching this being very, very worried that I wouldn't be able to do it on Friday, so I just want to throw that out there just in case. You know, if you don't see it Friday, you don't see it Saturday, you don't see it Sunday, it'll be coming Monday at the very latest, but most likely we're going to stick with the Friday release as long as the subs are there. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What do you think, and where do you think it's going to go with that cliffhanger that we saw in this episode? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you happen new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.